Okay, good to go. Just like a typical Monday after taking a look at the film yesterday. I'll just start with that. That was a good college football game. I thought both teams battling, answering, competing for 60 minutes. Obviously, we fell short. They finished a play or two better than us. Credit to them. But I did think we played with a lot of energy and with some edge and made some plays, defensive effort. Had our chances, and they made one more play than us. And so, just like anything, we watched the film, learned from it, learned some good, learned some things to clean up, and you move forward. I do think the energy that we played with was in huge part because of that crowd. Can't thank again Beaver Nation for showing out like that. We've got a home field advantage when the place was rocking the energy, and so I did appreciate that. I know our players did as well. But we're not playing at home this weekend. Got a huge challenge in front of us. Bunch of respect for what Utah has become. Obviously, a really good football team the last few years. This year, make it physical on both sides of the ball. Well coached, good players, quarterback's good, got some talent. Make it really hard defensively, and so it's a tough place to play against a really good football team. I know our guys are anxious though to go back to work starting tomorrow and getting ready for Saturday.
Jam Griffin's obviously got a lot more work the last couple of weeks. His progress, you talked maybe about Will's progress from camp to now, because he seems like he's come quite a ways.
Yeah. He in camp he dealt with a little bit of injury, missed some practice time there, so that might have delayed, just his comfort level in the scheme of things. I thought he had some great carries the other night. He's kept working hard, learning, and he's earned to continue to play more and more. I do feel like we got three backs that we like to rotate through there. But Jam got the hot hand in that game, and we're always going to defeat the hot hand.
I was going to ask about that situation. You got three backs, and it seems like nobody's on the field for more than maybe three plays. Do you feel like, does that take away from a guy getting hot, or do you feel like the way you're doing it gives him good rest and all that?
Yeah, we've done something similar the last few years. The rotation piece, some of it's depending on the play that's called. Some of these guys' skill set fit a particular player. They get the reps at that play, especially early in the season, early in the game. We do like to get a little rotation going so they can not get worn out in the second half if we get a guy with a hot hand. And so I don't think it's a hindrance. If a guy continues to separate, and we're over the next 3-4 games, then maybe we'd have the one game back, but we feel good with all three guys.
I don't know what your analysis was of the running game on Saturday, but the one thing that kind of stood out was you only ran one sweep. I think it was Anthony Gould ran for like 15. You didn't run any receivers really in that game. Was there a reason why did USC present some sort of problem, or did you just not?
They were good on the edges going into the game off the film study, and so we didn't feel like they had a bunch of plays there to get on the edge. As the game went on, they were with their emphasis on stopping the run game. Where the direction the back was going, they were chasing pretty hard, and so that's why we felt we could get to the around play.
We've been following Alton's kind of progress back. Do you have an update on when we might see Alton?
Yeah, just getting closer. It gets to a comfort level in practice. I will say the position he's playing, it's not like we're hurting there. Katon played really, really well. Jaden Grant, and so we want to be smart with him. When he's prepared and ready to physically go and have enough practice time, we'll get him in the game. Not down on him at all. He's battled back. That was a serious injury. Just currently going off last Saturday. Those other two are our best option.
Could you speak to the challenges that Cam Rising poses, and perhaps even a comparison with Caleb Williams, when you just battled?
Yeah, they're similar. They're talented. Guy's good decision making with the ball. He's accurate. He's athletic. They run him a little bit. He'll pull the ball. He's got some great experience now. Knows that offense inside and out. You can tell that at the line of scrimmage, he's getting him in the right play. Can make it physical in the running game, and then the action pass. He's got all of it. He's a big time player.
Obviously, without Luke as well, you had a freshman step up and make a big play for you on Saturday. The depth behind him, where do you see that position right now until he gets back?
Yeah, I was kind of projected to make a couple plays. First, again, getting a lot of time, did some good things. I think he's going to be a really good player around here. But we got some options there. Jake Overman continues to play steady and do some really good things. JT Byrne getting into the game, and obviously, it's tough to replace exactly Luke, but those guys are doing a good job.
After watching video, what was your assessment of Chance's play on Saturday?
Yeah, I would say, it comes down to, you play quarterback and you have a couple errors, those would stand out. We got to be able to be smarter with the football. We do. I don't put it all on him. I mean, this thing, you turn the ball over, especially with the interceptions, you first start the protection, he's getting hit on 3 of the 4 of them. And so we got to protect him better, understanding the situation and the decision he's making. Sometimes a sack is better than an interception. He did some other good things. He moved early. It was 3rd down scramble, got us in the right spot. Run game wise, got us in the right place. Made some throws on 3rd down that I thought were better. Like some of these 3rd, 6, 7, 8s we converted on. So there's some good plays there, but obviously the turnovers stand out.
You've got some personal experience with this. As Chance is going to find out Saturday, he's actually played and started at Utah. What is there any? Maybe it's not an advantage, but how much does it help him to have played in that stadium?
I wish I could say it helps a ton. I mean, it was so unique the year he started. His first start, there's no fans in the stands.
Right.
So, but he's played on the field, been through the locker room. I love the same with a lot of our players. This is a hostile place to play. I go back to, again, this non-conference schedule we played, going down to Fresno. That was a tough place to play too, and this will be right there with that kind of environment.
Seems like one thing that was a little bit under the radar Saturday was USC was pretty good on 1st and 2nd down, and you weren't able to use Jack Coletto very much. Do you feel like that had a little bit of an impact on the game?
Yeah, we like to get Coletto in those short yardage situations when we had one in the red zone and got a 1st down with it. Staying out of the 3rd and long is going to be beneficial. Had a couple of false starts in the first half. I think we had 4 of them. They put you behind the sticks, and then it's hard to sustain drives.
Noticed Saturday you had the 4-yard line painted for Spencer Webb, and I think most of the schools, if not all the other schools in the Pac-12, did the same thing that weekend. Was that kind of like a conference level decision, or was that program specific?
Conference level, which again, that I think just shows the class that the Pac-12 has, but that was from the conference office.
And it seems like every Utah week we talk about Kyle Whittingham, the job he's done in building that program. How much are you kind of trying to replicate that same model in your own way here at Oregon State?
Yeah, well, I got ways to go, but what he's done, he's created an identity, both sides of the ball. It's a style of player he recruits and develops there. Really smart, schematic football coach. You can see, these guys don't make a lot of errors. They make the thing physical, and that's been a mantra and identity for him for a long time.
All your games this year have been night games. Now you're going to Utah. It's going to be a morning game. How does this week of practice, how does your preparation change knowing that you're not going to have that much time on Saturday?
Yeah, it doesn't change at all, and some of it I think it's a great thing, and I'll tell our guys tomorrow, because we practice in the morning, so kickoff time will be about the halfway point of where we normally practice, and so it'll be a earlier morning wake up than the previous games, but I'm going to try to sell it right up our alley, because that's when we practice throughout the week.
The crowd at Reeser the other night seemed to really affect USC, forced them into using up their timeouts early. They used, I think, all 3 in the first half. When you go up against Utah in a packed house and they're rapid, you can practice with, the speakers going crazy, but do you talk about anything? Do you tell them, stay level-headed and go on pressure or whatever the count might be? Those kinds of things, you work on that?
Yeah, you talk about it. We'll definitely have the crowd noise going throughout the week. It starts with the early communication, getting in the huddle, getting in and out of the huddle. Obviously, we're getting on the same page. We've got to be able to do different styles of snap counts. We'll practice actually started yesterday doing that. And that's what's playing on the road. The crowd can make a difference in communication, and we've got to be airtight with them.
Anyone perhaps coming back off the injuries for Saturday, or no new faces?
Marco Brewer got in one play, but we're hopeful that he can get back in the fold this week. Outside of that, I think it's the same setup. You won't see Musgrave or Trey Lowe, which we've talked about, but everyone else hopefully by the end of the week will be available.
The 4th and 6th play, Some people seem to think it was forward progress, should have been stopped.
Oh.
What did you think?
I thought you were going to talk about the punt of chance on offense. Yeah, I mean, look, these are bang plays. The game's physical and going fast. You slow this thing on tape. Is this forward progress stopped? You know, maybe I wasn't totally hung up on it. I thought, look, it was a well played football game. I thought it was well officiated to let him play. And yeah, we didn't get that call.
Brant Keithy won't play Saturday. What sort of, when you watch their video, how big is he?
I mean, he's a good player, but they got a bunch of these tight ends that can play. And so I don't see it changing much in their overall schematics, plan on seeing what they do. And, you know, I just think every program, just like us, is missing a player or two. And that's why, you know, depth is important. So, good player, I'm sure they'll miss, but I don't see them making wholesale changes.
And the Utah defense, what challenges do they pose? What do they like to run?
Yeah, they're similar, what they've been doing for a long time. Play like man coverage, but change up their looks. Very sound. They're not ultra trying to fool you out there. They just do what they do, and they do it really well.
Playing at elevation in Salt Lake City, is there anything specific you do during the week to prepare for that, or do you kind of just rely on the conditioning you've built to this point?
Pretty much, yeah. We won't talk a ton about it. Similar to Colorado when we go over there, not seeing that as a major factor. I will say that the ball's going to travel further. So like on special teams and things, we'll definitely talk about that.
Everybody good? Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.